you think he's the midfielder, isn't it, Scholes?
I genuinely thought Paul Scholes was I really did. Like,
get that on there. And he said Paul Scholes is
thought he was so
Why? How?
He had no pace. He was dead small. He wasn't that good at dribbling. He couldn't tackle to save his life.
And still, he's regarded as the best, if not one of the best. So how do you? That shows your argument. You said he doesn't have all them attributes.
At best. He's not better than Lampard, and he's not better than Gerrard.
Oh, mate. How you doing?
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
How are you?
I'm decent.
Yeah.
You?
How's the football world treating you?
Footy's good, isn't it?
Yeah. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
We've going through a bit of a transition, but a bit of a rebuild.
Yeah, quality. This is like one of those. If it's a long rebuild, it's a bit like one of those nightmare homes.
Well, I need some advice actually, to be fair, because when you go on barren spells and long time without winning things, and I need that support. So this is good.
Don't worry, I've got.
This is therapy for me, to be fair.
Yeah. Cristiano Ronaldo will leave a better Premier League legacy than Mo Salah. 3, 2, 1.
How old? Well, first of all. Cristiano. Yeah. This all depends on whether you give him this contract and he stays.
100%.
Because if he don't, and you don't just give him this empty contract and get him to put whatever number he wants on it, which is what you should do, then the answer's this.
Yep.
However, it hurts me, but if Mo Salah stays another 4 years, signs this contract, and wins the league another couple of times and stuff, he's in a massive conversation.
If Salah signs a contract extension, I think he could end up as one of the all-time Mount Rushmore Premier League greats. If he only does this season and next, he'll be a Premier League great. And I think his legacy will be a big Premier League legacy because his time in Italy won't be anywhere near as substantial as what he did in the Premier League. But I think Ronaldo was still a young man in the Premier League initially, and albeit a very, very good one.
But achieved so much.
But
3 Premier
True. But I think he's far more known as a Real Madrid player. I think he's got a far bigger La Liga legacy. I don't think Ronaldo's Premier League legacy is as big as maybe it feels because as a Man United fan, because you hold him so dear.
I can see that point, and I hear that point a lot, and I feel like I understand that. But with what he achieved, he got his first Ballon d'Or at Man United. Because his level is so high, and then he went on to Real Madrid to do extraordinary things for a really long period of time. What he achieved at Man United as a young kid who hadn't even reached his peak yet gets forgotten about. And that, in terms of a Premier League legacy, Henry didn't even win the Ballon d'Or when he was there. Mo Salah hasn't won the Ballon d'Or as being the best. Ronaldo did it when he wasn't even in his peak. And for me, that sets above what a special player he was. Won the Champions League as well, FA Cup, League Cup, and 3 Premier Leagues in a row.
Do you think there's a chance that him coming back actually, though, harms that legacy?
I'm one of these fans that say once you've written something, it's done. So, like when Ollie came back. Have you ever
sang a song about Steven Gerrard falling over?
Yes.
There we go. Okay, sounds good.
Of course I have. Okay, cool. Every Man United fan has.
Okay, sounds.
But when you achieved what Cristiano Ronaldo achieved, like I was just saying, at a young age, going up to the level that he was before he went to Real Madrid, I don't think that can be undone. Especially because I look at things like age is catching up with the man. Like, time waits for no man. And sometimes it's sad to see, but he's still our top scorer. Still got us through the Champions League group stage when no one else would have. So there's still elements of it where it's catching up with him. I understand that, but no, to answer your question, no.
Yeah, you can't undo because the only issue with that is, of course, is what you do when he's no longer able to contribute. Well, no, but it's the Gerrard.
Yeah, it's sad to see.
But it's the Gerrard thing we had that way. How'd you phase out a player of that standard?
With Rooney as well.
And you've got exactly. And I think Wayne Rooney's got a far bigger Premier League legacy than Cristiano Ronaldo has by an absolute mile.
Well, the longevity. He's Manchester United's all-time top scorer. England's all-time. Wayne Rooney's the best English player of the generation.
Wayne Rooney because people remember Wayne Rooney when he got a bit slow and a bit fat and went back to Everton, and now look at him, he looks about 75 years old. You know what I mean?
Like this question's not even about Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney is the best English player ever.
Okay.
That's not even a question.
Okay.
Sorry, but put that in the title. That's what Wayne Rooney is. That's what Wayne Rooney is.
Currently, no Manchester United players would make it into Liverpool's starting 11.
I hate
3, 2, 1.
What happens if I leave my cup where it is? What does that mean?
You're just going to tip it over.
If you have to choose, you've got to go one way or the other.
Okay, I'm a Man United fan, so I've got to do this. And I'll tell you why, okay? Because there's not many. Oh, there's not many. If Bruno Fernandes played under Jurgen Klopp and could show him that he could conform to the way that Klopp would like to play football.
Yeah.
Imagine the likes of Bruno Fernandes supplying
Yeah.
the likes of Mane, supplying the likes of Salah,
Yeah.
Luis Diaz, etc., etc.
Yeah.
That's one thing. The second thing is this, and this is the last thing because I feel you're going to run away with this one.
Okay.
Right? But I'll be honest.
Yeah.
If Cristiano Ronaldo was in Liverpool's team as a number 9 and was told by Jurgen Klopp, listen, Ronnie, you stay within the width of the 18-yard box.
Yeah.
Everybody else will do the rest. Kind of what would have happened if he went City. Ronaldo would score 25 to 30 goals at Liverpool.
There's a lot of caveats there. It's
Yeah.
like, if Jurgen Klopp was fundamentally born, raised, and a completely different human being,
Yeah.
and had a totally different managerial style.
Yeah, basically, if he wasn't Klopp.
If he wasn't, if Jurgen Klopp was a different manager altogether, then maybe,
Yeah.
Because I see this all the time. I see this with like Pogba.
Yeah.
I think Pogba is pound for pound like the most talented footballer Man United. I think up there with Ronaldo certainly.
Yeah.
It is, and
Because he's way better than Henderson, but would Klopp with the functionality exactly, and the reason why you can go Izzy is because of the functionality of Henderson in your squad.
Yeah.
Would Henderson leave that functionality of squad and have that type of impact over any other team? I don't believe he would.
I don't think he'd have. I don't think anyone would have had any doubts over whether he's good enough or not with Jordan Henderson if he was at Manchester United. Whereas it's like it must be tiresome, the Pogba stuff. You watch him for 5 seconds, you go, what a footballer. Yeah. And then you watch him for 20 minutes and you're like, what a
Are you telling me that Jordan Henderson is better than Paul Pogba?
I think he's a better Premier League footballer than Paul Pogba. No one's had a debate over the last 5 years about Jordan Henderson's value to Liverpool Football Club, and Liverpool have been at the absolute peak of football, whereas you've had 5 years of conversation saying, how do we unlock Paul Pogba? What does Paul Pogba need alongside
I do agree with that. And the comment that I would say, I wouldn't say that he's a better footballer than Paul Pogba, because like you said, he's not. But would I say he's more consistent? Yes, because Jordan Henderson will put up 7s and 8s consistently every week, and Paul Pogba will give you a 5, then give me an 8, then maybe even give me a 9, 10, then go back to being a 5. So the consistency aspect. But in terms of who I'd rather have in my team right now with what we've got, I believe that we need Paul Pogba more than I need a Jordan Henderson right now.
Might I suggest that you might want to try the other thing, because that thing's clearly not working.
Well, he's going to leave, so that we will see that. But back to my other player, Raphael Varane. Now, you're going to tell me that Joel Matip is criminally underrated outside of the Liverpool fan base, because you guys...
Second best centre-half in the league.
Drink more. And can we get some more?
Celebratory drink.
Raphael Varane, and here's where you got to hear me out a little bit, because it isn't necessarily...
Because you're about to make an offensive case for why he's not done it for Man United.
No. Man United is a broken institution, and he's only been there since the beginning of this year. When Raphael Varane has played at Manchester United, he's been absolutely brilliant. He's been fine. Man United fans will tell you that. I know you're going to go with Joel Matip because you've seen it, he's won stuff, but you cannot tell me with Raphael Varane's prowess and what he's achieved in his career as a centre-half, even over Van Dijk, he is a top draw centre-half, and he could get into... He's better than Konate, he's better than Joel Matip, and if you had Van Dijk and Varane, you would be even better.
I think if I had to accept Raphael Varane, then
You're gonna give
I
me
would
that.
live with it. You know what I mean? I'd go, all right, Sad, look at all the European Cups he's won, absolutely fine.
Yeah.
I've got no, but I think Raphael Varane's a great player, but what's the point? He's not an upgrade on Matip. He's not better than Joel Matip.
I think he is. In every department, I think he is.
I have to strongly disagree in that regard. Yeah.
Can I ask you this? If you had to take a Man United player, do you look at one and go, do you know what? I think he'd be right.
Who makes the best cup of tea?
That's disrespectful. Don't disrespect the players.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So there's not one.
I would take Marcus Rashford.
I knew you were going to say that's ridiculous.
Because he's a wonderful human being and he would fit in with the ethos of our squad.
Okay. So it's not a football, really. It's not football.
No, I think he's really good at football as well. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Klopp's title-winning team is better than any team United have had. 3,
Put mine
2,
on the floor.
1.
Off the table, mate. Klopp's title-winning team was better than any Man United team there's ever been.
I don't even understand how it's a question. Like what Man?
What?
Tell
This has
me.
been so good, and we
tell
get
me-
here, and you do this.
Well, this is why they've done this to us.
True, true.
Tell me, and all of you in public, what is Manchester United's best ever title-winning team?
You could have the 99 treble if you want. You can have the 08 team if you want. Either of those two I'm happy with. Because those two are the all-time great of Premier League teams. If you, whichever one you want to put in 1 or 2, the treble winning team is untouchable. Untouchable. What it takes to get up and go again, and get up and go again, and not do the treble that you did, that poor man's treble, to do the real treble, no one's ever done it before. The reason why no one's ever done it before is because that is the greatest domestic achievement you can possibly do. And any team that achieves that, i.e. only Man United, they are the best Premier League team in history.
But if we're talking about pure Premier League team, there's not a Premier League season that Man United have put down that comes close.
Yours didn't even get the most points ever.
Still got more than Man United have ever got. Even the season when Liverpool came second on 97 points, United haven't even had a Premier League season that good.
But you didn't win.
Yeah, I know.
So you were a loser.
Manchester United.
So you just told me there's a season where the loser could be better than the winner.
This is not me going Arsenal Invincibles when they drew 70 games in the season.
I'm with you on that.
This is me saying that Liverpool got 97 points in the season, which is a higher tally than Manchester United have ever achieved in Premier League history. Man United are the most successful Premier League team of all time. They're rightly held
But
up
I
as
also
these,
look at what the team
but they
achieved.
never put a season.
Right.
Yeah, but that's circumstantial, and this is the point.
No, I don't mean just in that season. I mean the dominance in the period of what it was. So Man United have done like 3 back-to-back titles, couple of times. Liverpool, you're up against the mighty City and all of that, but who gave it straight back to them.
The best football team the Premier League's ever seen.
Is this about Man City or is this about... Because I disagree with that as well.
Okay. I can't sit here and say that 99 team wasn't absolutely incredible.
You're just saying it wasn't.
But I'm just saying, as far as a
Liverpool's
Premier League team in a 38-game season, Man United have never
You know what? There's cheek about this.
put a 38-game season down better than Liverpool's 99.
When I think about this, you've got 1 Premier League title, right?
But 19 league titles.
The cheek of having 1 Premier League, the one that you won, and you're just saying that's just the topples all the ones that we won. With you kind of downplaying the treble and how good it was, and you've done the poor man's version of it, my question to you is, do you think you'll be able to do the real one, the real treble?
I think it's as likely in the next 2 years as it's ever been. I think Liverpool have got the best squad I've ever seen. 1 piece of silverware in the bag already, which wouldn't count towards your treble.
I was just about to say, it's already the start. It's the start of the poor man's treble. Who would have thought?
Or maybe it's the start of the quadruple, who knows? Or it's the start of a season where we just win the League Cup and we go back into a hole.
Paul Scholes was a better player than Steven Gerrard.
Knew it. I'll take yours and all.
Get away. He was fine, like Paul Scholes. He was absolutely fine. But, like...
He did all right.
He was
fine. I'm not knocking him, but what is this? You ask Steven Gerrard who his favourite central midfielder is, he'll tell you it's Paul Scholes. And Paul Scholes will tell you it's himself. That's it. You ask your favourite midfielder who they... Don't ask me. You should send these questions to Xavi and Zidane and Pirlo. They'll tell you.
Gerrard. Zidane would have said it was Steven Gerrard.
There are things that Steven Gerrard could do that Paul Scholes couldn't do. I understand that.
I think
but
Gerrard could do everything that Paul Scholes could do, apart from win in a fancy dress competition. Who looked most like a baked bean. But Gerrard could do more on the pitch. He was a complete midfielder. And it's always unfair in these conversations, I think, because Paul Scholes was effectively a forward, you know what I mean, in his early days. You know, he played... Exactly. Whereas Gerrard played everywhere.
I do feel like Gerrard's game had more elements to it, but I feel like because Paul Scholes was so good at what he did, when you're that good, it's like saying, don't need the rest. Don't need the rest. I'm so good at this that I don't need to be good in the tackle. I am never, ever gonna sit anywhere and say that Gerrard is better. But I can understand the argument of why someone would say Gerrard is, but he's not.
I think Gerrard was the best player in every Liverpool side he played in. I'd make a case that Paul Scholes was never.
Oh, Gerrard plays with bloody Aquilani and people like that. What do you? This is.
That is a shout, by the way. Where did you pull Aquilani?
Hey, listen, mate, I'm over football, mate.
Paul Scholes played with Jemba. There we go.
But most of his career, you know, you've got your Keane, you've got Carrick as the top ones he's played with. Nicky Butt, top draw player. Nicky Butt's a top draw player. Yeah, in that era, not a lot of respect gets put on him. Yeah, okay. But what I'm saying is that he was always surrounded by top players. Yeah. You can't put this argument on the table that Gerrard was always the best player in the team. When look at you, Bruno, Shearer, and players like that. True. Gerrard was always the best because he was. But in a crap team.
Yeah, but true enough.
Him and Xabi Alonso was probably the best pairing.
Yeah, and to be fair, he had some good players alongside him. But you're right. That's the thing.
He was always going to be the best
player. Never dissociate myself from Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
And of course, being just the role model in terms of like you wanted to grow up, you could be Steven Gerrard because he's a local boy and he's got all that stuff. And Scholes obviously got that going for United as well. But yeah,
it's one I don't expect any Liverpool fan to ever say that Scholes is better. Like if it's Scholes, Gerrard, Lampard, I'm always Scholes.
Understandable.
And a Chelsea fan's always Lampard and Liverpool fans always Gerrard.
Yeah.
You think he's the midfielder, isn't it, Scholes?
I genuinely thought Paul Scholes. I really did. Like,
get that on there. He said Paul Scholes is.
Thought he was so.
Why? How?
He had no pace. He was dead small. He wasn't that good at dribbling. Yeah. He couldn't tackle to save his life.
And still, he's regarded as the best, if not one of the best. So how do you? That shows your argument. You said he doesn't have all them attributes.
At best. He's not better than Lampard and he's not better than Gerrard. Agree to disagree.
Do you know what's funny? He waited right in the end to say what he really thought. I thought he was mate. He shouldn't even be talking. Why didn't you put Michael Carrick instead of Scholes? He thinks. Oh my God, Paul.
Even worse.
Liverpool will win the Champions League again before United even qualify for it. 3, 2, 1.
Oh my. Ooh.
I don't even want to move my cup, man. Liverpool will win it before we. So really, if you win it this season and we finish 5th, which could easily happen, that's this over.
I'm gonna agree. Yeah.
I have to back my team. I'm here. I'm here. I've got to back my team. Okay. I've got to back my team. We will qualify for the Champions League this year by winning it. Yeah? Wait, when does this even go up? Because right now it's 1-1 and it's finally in the balance with Atleti. So as we record, as this goes out, we might not be in it.
I'll be honest. I'm on dangerous ground because you can't
say you're gonna win the Champions League.
Exactly. You should finish top 4.
Exactly.
But Liverpool, you can't say you should win the Champions League.
So do you want me to just put that back?
I'm going to keep it there.
Liverpool versus United is still the biggest game in the Premier League. 3, 2, 1.
There's probably a few City fans who'd be rolling their eyes at this point, but no. There's like 2 fixtures that I look out for every single season. It's the Merseyside derby, and it's Liverpool versus Manchester United, because that is the biggest game. It's the 2 biggest football clubs, the 2 most historic football clubs, the biggest, most aggressive rivalry amongst them as well. That is, it's up there. It's up there with El Clasico. It's up there with anything on any
world football. 100%.
Exactly.
My thing with this is actually, it's not the best quality game anymore because we're.
Quite enjoyed Old Trafford this season.
Yeah, I bet you did. But if you ask people outside of the fan base as neutrals, and it pains me to say it, and I've seen the games this season, they want to see City against Liverpool. They're the 2 best teams. Them games are high octane. Liverpool against Chelsea, 2 top managers, 2 top teams. The quality of football is better. But however, in terms of the history of the fixture and what it means to these 2 sets of fans, that's still our biggest game.
Liverpool and City, I think, is a fad.
It's a new thing.
It's the reason why you guys have got this weird rivalry with Arsenal, because you had that end of 90s, early noughties. But the fact that Liverpool and United haven't really ever been on a level pegging and yet have still been the biggest game makes it absolutely the biggest game.
Yeah, and that is why I do 100% agree, but I just understand the point of actually, if you're watching the game for an entertainment value, you're going to see a United team probably either lose to Liverpool in this moment or try and play on the counter-attack or whatever.
Exactly.
But then when you
Pure
see City,
entertainment value.
Yeah, I bet.
One for the neutrals.
But that's not going to happen this season. Again. Again. It's not going to happen again because we've got to play at Anfield soon, so that's not going to happen. Okay. We've got Ralph now. He set us up tactically to not get beat 5-0.
Can I have that?
I said we won't get beat 5-0. I didn't say we wouldn't lose 2-0.
Okay.
Well, we got there in the end. Is this something we can agree on?
I think so.
Yeah? We did it.
Yeah.
You think your team that you played with can be better than the team that I played with?
Yeah.
That can't happen.
Is this England?
Anyone you played with?
I've definitely won it.
No, I don't think...
I've got Shearer, I've got the lot. You ain't got Shearer, have you?
No, but I got Salah.
How would you get in?
Fiorentina. Firenze.